Hello dear friends, welcome to the art and history blog of Arsumiata. In this video we're going to study the Romanesque art of medieval Europe, a time when, as you may know, Christianity had a considerable weight in the lives and minds of people. So we will be paying special attention to the iconography of its most important figure, Jesus. Let's begin by setting the context. The Romanesque is an artistic movement which characterized most of Europe in the beginning centuries of the second millennium. It is mostly a religious art, since it grew with and thanks to the spread of the Christian Church. For this very reason, the Romanesque is considered quite homogeneous and is, therefore, said to be the first artistic movement of international scope. Due to its sacred character, Romanesque artworks are found mainly in churches and monasteries, and fully integrated into their architecture. Painting, for instance, decorated walls, arcs, and apses, as well as altars and religious books which, quite painstakingly, scribal monks decorated by hand, thus preserving religious traditions and secular knowledge for generations to come. Wooden sculptures were found inside the buildings and represented Jesus, the Virgin Mary, the Apostles, or the Saints. Stone sculptures, on the other hand, were found in the outside, decorating capitals, the highest part of a column, usually in the cloisters of monasteries, with floral and animal motifs and biblical or monastic life scenes. But where stone really stood out was in the timpani, space above the main doors of churches and monasteries, and in this timpani the main subject was the Christ in Majesty. This is Vezelay Abbey, one of the most important religious centers of the day. It stood in one of the main routes of pilgrimage to Santiago and was the place where Bernard of Clairvaux preached about the Second Crusade for the retaking of the Holy Land. In its timpani, dated around the 11th century, and surrounded by a variety of biblical scenes, we find the Christ in glory, that is, a full-body depiction of Jesus in mandorla with a holy halo surrounding his head. The Messiah is sitting on a throne that makes him look all-powerful. It is for this reason that this way of depicting Jesus is called Maiestas Domini, or the Lord in Majesty. He is stretching both his arms, showing us to his right those whom he has considered worthy of eternal life, and to his left those damned to burn forever in the flames of hell. It is the day of the Lord, the judgment day, when souls are weighted and judged free from sin or guilty. Angels are playing the trumpet, just as it is said in the Apocalypse, chapter 8. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and hail and fire and blood were hauled down on the earth, and a third of the earth was burned up. The image of the damned is heart-rending. Their visage is contorted by the agony of the future that awaits them. They try to hide themselves behind one another, yet the terrible mouth of hell is open for them and will surely swallow them all. Let's now have a look at another Maiestas Domini, dated to around the 12th century, but in painting. This work decorated the central apsis of the church of St.Climent of Taüll, in the north of Catalonia. Again, we see a full-bodied Jesus in mandorla, with a holy halo around his head. This time, though, we see at both his sides two Greek letters, Alpha and Omega, which make reference to chapter 21 of Apocalypse, which reads, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. On his left hand, he is holding the book to salvation. It reads, Ego sum lux mundi, a quote of the Gospel of John, chapter 8, I am the light of the world. And precisely under his feet, a sphere that represents the world, as prophesied by Isaiah, Heaven is my throne, the earth my footstool, chapter 66. Surrounding Jesus' figure, but out of the mandorla, we can see the tetramorph, that is, the four authors of the Gospels and the figure that represents each of them according to the apocalyptical tradition. As it stands, religious iconography was certainly not free or arbitrary, but rather it closely followed the sacred scriptures. Altogether, this Maiestas Domini and the four Gospel writers follow the typical Romanesque style, which has people depicted with a hieratic gaze, flat expressions, and marked frontality, that is, lack of depth. Truly, we might not find it all that pleasant to look at, or let's say nice, but we should remind ourselves that its function was not to provide aesthetic pleasure. To grasp its meaning, we need to imagine it on its original location, a church in a mountainous region in the north of Catalonia. Now, we enter the temple. We feel a chilling cold inside, and look at it. The image is so inspiring and helps us to connect with God and develop our spirituality. And here we leave it for today. We hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in medieval or ancient times, have a look at our gallery website www.artsumiada.com. We have fantastic original artifacts for sale. Good journey and see you soon!